Welcome to an Intel gaming build on a budget. Right out of the gate, this build is roughly $1,400, which most would not consider budget, but hear me out on this one. What do you have to consider is that this is a hypothetical build, especially when it comes to the GPU and current problems in regard to availability. Full disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by anyone. We are simply using Newegg since it offers a reasonable combination of price and available components. Now let's get to the build itself. Right now our choice for the GPU would be an EVGA RTX 3070. Of course it's out of stock, but as we said, it's a hypothetical build, with the shortage coming to an end sooner or later, with the prices being at roughly the same level as they are now. This GPU already eats up half of our budget, clocking in with $700. What excites us the most about this graphics card is not the fact that it is out of stock, like every other GPU, but rather its advanced cooling technology. I could bore you with the details of the ICX3 technology, so I'm just going to skip this part and tell you that the asynchronous fans are going to rock your socks. Your GPU will be cooler and also produce less noise. In regard to ports, the EVGA RTX 3070 has one HDMI 2.1 and 3 display ports 1.4a. The slot width is 2.75, so there is not much wiggle room above or below. Oh, and it also has RGB, of course. The next essential part is the CPU, and here is where we go budget. Since GPUs are usually the bottleneck in gaming these days, a decent CPU can handle most games. When you play in 1440p or above, the FPS will only vary a little bit. Having said that, we chose the i5 10400 with 6 cores and 12 threads, and it has only 3 or 4 less frames compared to an i9 10900K on 1440p and almost no difference in 4K. This takes away another $160 from our budget. Next on the list is the mainboard. We went with the MSI MAG B460. It supports 2 M.2 drives as well as up to 6 SATA 6 gigabit ports. You will however lose one SATA slot when the first M.2 slot is being used. The board also supports 2.5 gigabit LAN speed and has 4 USB 3.2 connectors on the back. It supports DDR4 memory up to 2933 MHz and has 2 PCI Express 3x16, one will be blocked when using the second M.2 slot. Also included are 2 PCI Express 3x1 and it is of course shiny with RGB support. The next item we need is the RAM. Even though the mainboard only supports DDR4 RAM running on 2933 MHz, we recommend the G.SKILL Ripjaws V Series. You could go for 2 8GB sticks, however we would recommend buying one 16GB stick now to have the option to get another one later and use the dual channel option. Those 16GB will add another $75 to your list. We are already at roughly $1,000 for this build, still missing is some storage drive, a case and a power supply. For storage we chose an M.2 Western Digital Black SN750 with 1TB of space for $135. It comes without a heatsink, which would be an optional $20. We have both versions in use ourselves and didn't notice any difference. We also like that it's black because this makes it very unobtrusive when looking inside your case through the window, compared to the blue version. Speaking of case, we decided to go with the Phanteks Eclipse P360A, which is an ATX mid-tower case with a side window, 2 120mm RGB fans in the front, and a separate power supply unit bay on the bottom. You can sync the RGB of the fans with the mainboard RGB to make it worth looking at through the window of your case. There's all kinds of different fan placement options, although not all positions will allow going beyond 120mm fans. Another minor drawback of the case for some might be the missing front panel USB-C port. For an additional $4 you can get the case in white instead of black. To cap it all off, we need a power supply. From personal experience again, we recommend the Seasonic FOCUS GX-750. This is, as the name says, a 750 watt 80 plus gold fully modular power supply unit. The price is around $130 to $135, and also, more importantly of course, the silent performance in fanless mode and that it is completely modular and also not really bigger than the 140mm fan it has. When we total all of this up, we end up at $1,411. The only thing missing for an enthusiast would be a CPU cooler. Even though the 10400 will ship with a stock cooler, this is a horrible idea, but it will do if you want to save those extra 35 bucks. If you decide to invest another $35, you are set up for almost everything that is coming your way. Benchmark comparison videos approve of that. So this is our $1,400 budget gaming build. If you want to see more builds, please leave a suggestion down below in the comment section. Also, let us know what kind of budget and purpose we should do next. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to help the channel, and we will see you in the next one.